So you did it. You crushed the exam, you've got that shiny new license in your hand, and you are ready to take on the real estate world. But there's just one tiny problem, right? That feeling of pure excitement can turn into total, overwhelming chaos, like really fast. So let's talk about the blueprint that turns all that chaos into a real career. And this is it. This is the question that every single new agent asks themselves. I passed. Now what? Suddenly, you're the CEO of your own business, but it feels like you've been handed the keys without a manual. Look, that feeling of being lost, totally normal. But the answer isn't just about grinding harder. It's about working smarter. And that means having a proven plan. And here is that plan. Think of this 4-week program as your roadmap. We're literally going to go step by step, taking that initial "what do I do now" feeling and turning it into a clear, actionable path that not only gets you to your first closing, but sets you up for the long haul. So let's kick things off with week 1. And this is so important. Before you can even dream about finding clients, you've got to build the business behind the scenes. This first week is absolutely crucial. It's all about laying down the operational and, honestly, the mental foundation for everything that comes next. So what does that look like? Well, week 1 is really about getting all your ducks in a row. We're talking about setting real income goals, getting a handle on what it means to be an independent contractor, hello taxes, and getting super comfortable with your brokerage's tech. You know, the CRM for managing your people and the MLS for finding houses. Plus, you'll get that big picture view of how a deal actually flows from start to finish, and even dip your toes into basic market analysis. And check this out. This simplifies the whole thing beautifully. Seriously, every single deal, no matter how crazy it gets, follows this basic path. It all starts with a lead, right? A person who wants to buy or sell. From there, you guide them to a signed contract. And then you manage that entire process all the way to the closing table. Simple, right? Just understanding this flow is a massive confidence booster right out of the gate. Okay, so the foundation is solid. Now we get to the fun part. In week 2, we're flipping the switch. We're going from all that internal prep work to external action. This is where we actually start talking to people and generating leads. But first, I have to show you this because it's so important. This right here, this is the #1 reason most new agents fail. And you might be surprised. It's not because they can't find leads. It's because they have zero follow-up. They get busy, they forget to call back, and all that potential business just evaporates. The good news? There's a system to make sure that never, ever happens to you. And that system starts right here with what we call your sphere of influence, or SOI. This is your personal gold mine. Seriously, it's everyone you already know, your friends, your family, old coworkers, the people who already know you, like you, and trust you. And this isn't about giving them a hard sell. It's just about letting them know what you're doing now and positioning yourself as their go-to expert for anything real estate. And if you don't believe me, just look at the numbers. The data does not lie. So many new agents waste a ton of time and money chasing those shiny online leads. But look at this. A whopping 65% of business for truly successful agents comes directly from their sphere of influence. The message could not be clearer. Start with the people who are already in your corner. So you're probably wondering, how do I actually work my sphere without being that annoying, pushy friend? Well, you use a system, something like the 36-touch concept. This is the direct solution to that no follow-up problem we talked about. It's basically a simple plan to stay in touch consistently all year long. Think about it, a monthly market update email, a couple of phone calls just to check in, maybe a coffee here and there. It's all about providing value, not a sales pitch. All right, so now you're generating leads. That's awesome. Week 3 is all about what to do when someone raises their hand and says, "Yes, I want to work with you." This is where we master the core of the job, expertly guiding buyers and sellers through the actual transaction. When it comes to buyers, it all kicks off with a structured consultation. And I'm not talking about a casual chat over coffee. This is a professional process. First, you dig deep to truly understand what they need. Then you set crystal clear expectations about the current market and the buying process itself. You explain exactly how you're going to help them, and then you formalize that relationship. Just doing this will put you head and shoulders above 90% of the agents out there. Now, a super important part of that consultation is figuring out a buyer's financial readiness. And this is a point of confusion for so many people. A pre-qualification, that's really just a rough estimate based on what the buyer tells the lender. But a pre-approval, that's the golden ticket. That's when a lender has actually verified all their financial documents. It means your buyer is serious and can write a strong, competitive offer that sellers will actually consider. And then for sellers, the listing appointment is your time to shine. This is way more than just a presentation. It's about building that rapport, that connection. It's about showing them a pricing strategy that's backed by cold, hard data from a CMA. It's about clearly breaking down their potential profit with a seller net sheet and laying out a powerful marketing plan that's designed to get them top dollar for their home. All right, we're in the home stretch, week 4. You've got the foundation, you know how to generate leads, and you have the skills to handle a transaction. This final week is all about making that critical mental shift from thinking like a trainee to acting like the CEO of your own company. And at the absolute core of being a professional are your fiduciary duties. This is a non-negotiable. It's a legal and ethical standard that means you are bound to put your client's best interests above everyone else's. And yes, that includes your own. Understanding this and living by it is what builds a long-term career based on trust and referrals. Which brings me to what might be the most important equation in this entire business. It's simple, but it's everything. Activity leads to income. In a commission-based business like this, your income is a direct result of the things you do every single day. There's no magic to it. The actions you take create your paycheck. So how do you make sure you're doing the right activities? You put that equation into practice with a 90-day business plan. This is what turns all this theory into real-world action. We're talking about a non-negotiable daily schedule, tracking the numbers that actually matter, like how many people you talk to, how many appointments you set, and, maybe most importantly, finding someone to hold you accountable to your goals.
So when you look at all of this, it's really important to remember this 30-day blueprint, it's not the finish line, not even close. Think of it as your launch pad. It's the solid foundation you absolutely need to build a sustainable, successful, and long-lasting career in real estate.
So, I'm going to leave you with this one question to think about. I want you to look at your calendar, look at your to-do list for today, for this week. Are the things you're spending your time on directly creating income? Are they helping you serve clients? Because at the end of the day, how you answer that question, that is what will define your success.